So guys, maybe you don't know that, but Renske is a super passionate about Tegus. And I can't not make a video about Tegus, which was something really interesting to see and to hear. Let's go.
So, of course, the Tegus, this is where my biggest passion and hobby started with Tegus, and I could never let it go. So from one Tegu came more Tegus, and I've had in the past like more than 50 Tegus. Now I have a little bit less, I think around 40. I didn't count them, but I sold some Tegus in the past years to focus more on other bloodlines and also other type of reptiles. Yeah. And I also want to expand in the future with other animals like more monitors, because monitor lizards are still very interesting because of the intelligence and stuff. I really like that in lizards. Tegus are still very intelligent, but they are also a little bit clumsy and first act then think. So if they think you have food, then they first attack you, and then afterwards it's like, oh, you do not have food, oh, let's have a cuddle. So yeah, they are in that way they are a little bit stupid, but still they can learn a lot. If they found out how to open a door, then next time they do it again. But like with the croc monitors, they see you do it and then they do it. A Tegu really has to try, and then when he knows how to do it, he keeps doing it. Yeah. So it's a different way of smart. But yeah, it's still very interesting.
Makes so, sense, like you have in snake talk, you have a retech and you have a corn snake, more like in the way of thinking.
Yeah, I'm not into snakes, but maybe that's
the act first and think later. After.
Yeah,
it's
exactly.
More like
and they still have their smart moments, but they are really like, oh, let's attack, and then like, oh, wait, this is no food.
Yeah, that's the stuff.
Yeah, so yeah. I have some blue Tegus. These are some original blue Tegu, except for exactly this one. Yeah. The one that's under the UV light is one that I imported from the USA. So this is a blue Tegu that is from a bloodline from 2001. Then there were some blue Tegus imported to the US, and all the blue Tegus in the US come from one bloodline. Later on in 2011, there were also a blue Tegus imported to Europe, around 60 Tegus, I think 50 or 60 Tegus. And this male that you see here up front is one of the original imports from them. And they were imported from Brazil. And what I've found out with some friends of mine is that they came from an island, and this island in Brazil, next to Brazil, there was a problem with rats. Mm-hmm. So they thought, let's put some blue Tegus or just Tegus. They didn't know what Tegus they put on the island, but put those Tegus on the island, and they will destroy all the rats and the mice, and then we are done with this problem. But they had a new problem. The Tegus became the new problem. So now this whole island is full of Tegus. So they took some Tegus in 2011 from that island, and they brought these Tegus to Europe. And yeah, I have 3 males that are still from the import, and I have some females that the mothers were also wild caught from the island. Yeah. So sadly, I lost a lot of my females some years ago because of food poisoning. I changed from one brand of food to another, and then some died from food poisoning. Okay. So I only have the males still from that import. But all the females sadly died. But I still have some children from those females. So this is another blue Tegu, also one of the original imports. And here I have a black and white black-nosed Tegu Those black-nosed tegus come from Uruguay, so they are a locality of black and white tegus. And yeah, they have a black nose. This one has eaten some days ago, and still there's some food on its nose, I think. But yeah, this is a black nose tegu. So I really like all the localities and stuff. Most people are like, yeah, it's just a tegu, but for me, it's very I get really excited from things like that.
I mean, we need a bit of everything for everyone. So
yeah. Here's another blue tegu, another black and white tegu here, also a black nose.
Yes.
And here is some red tegus. This is a purple devil line. It's now shedding a little bit, so it's a little bit lighter, but normally it's like a purple blue of a red. Yeah. So a very dark red color. And yeah, another black nose tegu.
Now, something that people would seeing this might ask is, why are they yellow?
Because these they are now going into hibernation, and then they start getting a yellow shed. It's more thicker than normal because they eat less. It gets colder here, and so the skin gets very thick. So it's very yellow at the moment. And after hibernation, they will probably shed. And then they are completely black and white again. So not the yellow color anymore. Okay. So you are actually in the wrong part of the year here, because all the tegus are very yellowish. Yeah. And normally they have more nice colors. But yeah, it's almost time to go in hibernation. So okay. they are very yellow. Here is also an albino tegu, albino red tegu. I imported her from the USA. She's now also a little bit, not a nice skin, very yellow, but when she sheds, she's very nice, almost glowing. It's a really nice orange color. Very beautiful animal if she sheds. But now like I said, it's not the most beautiful color.
I'll have to come back in summer also.
Yeah, exactly. And in the back, I have Anery Hypo male. This is Anery and Hypo. So the Anery is taking away the red pigment. Hypo is taking away the biggest part of the black pigment. So it's lighter. And the combination of that makes it almost albino, because he is very light colored. Now he's a little bit yellow because he's shedding, but when he sheds, he's almost white. Yeah. And that's because of the hypo that's in combination with the Anery. And my idea is to breed the albino female with the Anery hypo male to get triple heads animals, and then babies from them put together will get albinos, Anerys, hypos, but also combinations of 2 or 3 of the probably snow. But that's my goal. But the combination albino with Anery, it has been done already, but I didn't see anyone doing the hypo genetics also together with the albino and the Anery. So that's something new. Yeah, I have some more red tegus.
Question about, because you talked that we're going to Brumation, is like, what do you do for Brumation for tegus?
I start by stopping with giving food, so they get no food at all anymore. Now they are still at 1 time a week, and we gave not this Monday, but the Monday before, we gave them food, and then now we're gonna quit at all with food. And then every week I will put less light hours in the enclosure. So I take like 2 hours from their total light hours, and then every week a little less till after 4 weeks, then all the lights go off. Then I still keep them for 1 week or something like that in their enclosures here, and then I'm gonna put them in boxes with straw, and move the boxes to a special climate controlled room. And this room also I will go lower and lower with the temperature till it's around 18, 19 degrees. And then they will stay there till March. And then in March I will wake them up again. Okay. And I check them every now and then. So then 1 week I check like 4 animals, and then the next week I check another 4 animals, and then I go around every time to make sure that everything goes well. Yeah. But I don't want to disturb them all the time. So that's why I do every time another animal. And then this way there's less stress, but I still feel that I have control of the situation. Yeah. And and if I hear like that they have problems breathing, then I take them out of the box into the enclosure again, and then I warm them up very slowly and wake them up, just to make sure that they don't die in hibernation. I have lost Tegus in the past, but this was normally when something went wrong with the temperature in the incubator or in the climate controlled room, or there was another health problem. But I almost never lose animals in hibernation. But it's still always a little bit a stressful time in the year. It's always very sad to lose an animal, even if you have so many. Most of my Tegus have names, and they are really also a pet for me. It's not only business.
We have a funny one there.
Yeah, she's like, please keep filming me. I'm a star.
Yeah, we have another one there, another funny one there.
Yeah, it's the end of the day. They always get a little bit more active, and also they always notice when strangers are here. When I have an open house day here and there are a lot of people, then somehow all the Tegus are like on the windows, like, hello, hello, I'm here.
A bit clumsy, but yeah, they like attention.
Yeah, they like attention, and they always like, is this food?
Yeah.
Can I eat it?
Yeah.
So yeah, I also have a lot of old Tegus. This one is 19 years old. I have also one that's also around 19 years old, almost 20 years old. I think he's here. Yeah, he's sleeping in the back, but you can see him there. That's Devil. That's, yeah, he's sleeping. And you probably noticed that all my enclosures are very deep. Yes. And the reason that I do this is, of course, it's more easy to fit a lot of enclosures in one room. That's one of the reasons, but also because they feel really safe in the back. When they start laying eggs, I always put a lot of straw in the enclosure on top of the soil, and then they bring all the straw to the back, and they make a built nest. And in this nest, they can lay their eggs. But they always do it in the back because that's a quiet place and they feel safe there. So it has a lot of good things about being so deep.
Yeah, and as you said, lots of tanks.
Yeah, a lot of Tegus, a lot of enclosures. Yeah, so it's a little bit of an addiction, I think. Once you have one Tegu, you want all the color morphs. And I also worked on some bloodlines, some special looks. So I have like Devil line, I have Pearl line, and the Pearl line is very high white, so they have a lot of white. I also have the Devil line with the purple, so they are very dark purple colors. But to keep the line healthy, you need a lot of animals to keep breeding. So I have a lot of purple Devil line females and males, and I also have a lot of Pearl line females and males. So to keep breeding in the future also. So yeah, that takes also a lot of space. And of course I also have the Albinos, the Anerys, the Hypos. And so yeah, you need a lot of animals to have different bloodlines and different color morphs. So it's a little bit like once you have the one, then you also want the other, and so on. So then you get this. A lot of enclosures, and I have to say the Tegus are the most work of all the animals. Like the monitor lizards is like maybe 1 hour, 2 hours a week work, and this is 2-3 hours a day work. So it's very intense.
Yeah, and since you have a lot of Tegus, when it comes like for someone that will just keep one, what type of enclosure would you recommend for them?
They need at least 2 square meters of floor space, and my enclosures are a little bit more than 2 meters deep and 120 wide. You at least need that amount of space. You can make an enclosure like I have with the smaller side a window, but you can also do over the whole length of the enclosure. So that doesn't make that much of a difference. The only thing is with breeding females is that they really like the back for hiding, and you also see on the end of the day all the animals go to the back, stay in the dark. So the space is important, but also you have to keep it really warm. They get a lot of problems with shedding and eating at the moment when they have too cold environment. And some people think, okay, but my temperatures are good, but then at night all the lights go off, and then it gets really cold in the night, and then in the morning they have not enough time to warm up, and then you will see that at daytime they also stop eating. So, and also get skin problems, especially the red Tegus are very sensitive for skin problems, and most of the time it has to do with temperature. Sometimes it has to do with food, like too much fish or not enough vitamin B in the food or something. Then they also get skin problems. So that's something you should think about, the temperature, the space, and also they do not like it if you hang over them. So always an enclosure that opens from the side. But that's something that for almost every reptile, that's the nicest way to be picked up out of an enclosure. And something what you should think about is a lot of Tegus are very food responsive in the enclosure. So when you take a Tegu out of the enclosure, always do it safe, like grab them by the neck and then pull them up. And then when they are out, then you can just let them go, and then they will probably not bite you if they are friendly. But even a friendly Tegu can attack you when you go in an enclosure and they think you are food. So that's something to think about, that an Tegu isn't aggressive if it attacks you in the enclosure. It's because when they are out, they often are all super relaxed.
And what is, like you said, like people too cold during the night? What is too cold actually?
Under 23 degrees is already too cold. Tegus really do not like it, and when they already go in some hibernation-like state, but when they warm up at daytime every time, then their skin goes like hibernation, not hibernation, hibernation, not hibernation, and then you get the skin problems. And the same with eating, they are like, oh, I cannot eat because then I die if I eat in hibernation. So they quit eating because they are not warm enough. So,
Okay, I get it.
So that's a mistake that happens a lot with Tegus. And then they say, my Tegus in hibernation, but they are not in hibernation or brumation or whatever you want to call it. They cannot eat because it's too cold. So,
That's okay. That's an interesting part to know.
I
mean, I don't know if a lot of you keep Tegus, and we have still a funny one there, still the same.
She wants to steal the show.
But now if you want one, you can have an ID. Of course, like it's always the same. Do a whole bunch of research, just not from one video. Keep an animal, but you get quite of the what the heck is happening there.
She tries to climb in the lamp. A lot of Tegus do this to get attention. It's most on the end of the day, what I already said, and when other people are around, then they start climbing in the lamps, and scratching the windows. It's normally they don't do this, right? No, it's because you are new here. Yeah. So, yeah.
You have rattlesnakes that are rattling when a stranger comes, and then you have Tegus just attention seeking.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, Tegus are a little bit like they want to catch the show every time. Yeah. What you also see with a lot of problems with Tegus is, especially in Europe, we still have a lot of wild caughts. So animals, I cannot say wild caught. It's more farm bred / wild caught. They come from Argentina. They are imported mostly to Germany or Spain, and then from there they go to all the shops. And what I've noticed is that a lot of people that sell those Tegus say, oh, it's Captive-Bred, or it's Captive-Bred Argentina. But it's completely different. Those animals often had not the best conditions before they came here. And also when they come here, they are without water for a very long time. So they often have kidney problems. They often have parasites. They had a lot of stress. So those animals are really hard to start with. Personally, I don't think those animals are good for beginners, but they are sold to a lot of beginners. Sometimes you need new bloodlines for breeding. So it's nice to have bloodlines like some of mine Uruguay black-nosed Tegus. They are from farms like that. Otherwise, I wouldn't have those lines. So I'm not completely against imports, but I noticed that a lot of those import animals, and they come with like hundreds at a time, they are doomed to die because people buy them, they don't know that they are wild and that they need to be checked for parasites and stuff, and they often die a horrible death. So I'm really against this, and probably some people will be very angry for me saying this because some people import them. But it's something that I'm not a fan of. And personally, that's why I also started breeding Tegus, because I was like, it's crazy that they are still imported from farms and the wild so in such a big amounts, while they have little chance for surviving a whole life. Like Tegu, I have Tegus that reached an age of 27, 28 years old, but animals that are imported from the wild have very little chance to reach those age. I had also one wild caught animal, and she died at the age of 13 because her kidneys were failing. And this is a problem that you see a lot. And 13 is still a long time, but they can get much older than that. So I always recommend also to find out where is the Tegu from that you're buying. Is it from a breeder? Is it import from the USA? Then it's probably Captive-Bred too. But is it import from Argentina? Then you're pretty sure that it is farm-bred wild caught. So
and being like imported, like they're also cheaper than Captive-Bred.
Yeah, of course.
It's always a story of the little lizard that is cheap.
I have sometimes people that say, okay, what's the price for your Tegu? And I'm like, it's 500 euros. And they are like, I can get a wild caught, or they don't even say wild caught, but I can get one for 250 or 300 euros. Why would I pay so much for your Tegu? And I'm like, go to that other seller and buy it, and then you will see why. Because the food that I get here, the good start from the egg, from the day that they are born, they are handled every day, and they get food every day, and they get good quality food. So there is not one day in their life that they have a stress. Maybe a little bit for handling at the start, but they have no real stress like the ones from a farm. And so they are often a lot tamer. They most of the time have no parasite. Of course, also in my breeding facility, they can have parasite, but the parasites that they get are not that bad. And also it's a minimal risk. the whole start of their life is much better from a captive bred. And yeah, it's expensive, more expensive also. It takes all my free time and all. I'm 7 days a week I'm here. So that's also why they are more expensive. And yeah, what I already said, it takes a lot of time to take care of the Tegus, a lot more than my monitor lizards. They, the enclosures are very expensive. The heat is very expensive. It's way more expensive than a facility in Argentina that keep them all outside. And they don't give a shit about how the animals are treated. It's a product for them. And here there's a lot more love, but it also takes a lot of time. So that's my explanation for why my animals are a little bit more expensive than a wild caught or an import.
I mean, it's something like you can understand. It's like it's the same for every, like if you take an import from whatever species you want, and the same species, captive-bred, the exact same animal, the price of the captive-bred will be higher because of the whole time and everything that's put in there. Of course.
And if you calculate it with the time that you take and the food that you put in there, it's more expensive. It's and if you don't ask the prices that the higher prices, then there's no way that you can keep doing it.
Of course.
Especially when you are a business. If you are a hobbyist, then it's a little bit more easy. But I'm also like, when an animal is more expensive, it sounds really stupid, but people take better care of animals that are expensive, because when an animal gets sick that is very cheap, then they can buy a new one for the price that they can go to a vet. It shouldn't be like this, but it is. That's just how it works. And the more expensive the animal is, I really notice that people take much better care, and they also think better about buying the animal. People that come to me, they have thought about it. They already have found that there are cheaper Tegus, but they just want the quality, and also they know that when something goes wrong, that they can come back to me. Most sellers of the wild caughts, they are more like, that's the risk. And not all of course. There are also good people that sell those animals, but a lot, I hear it a lot, that people buy a Tegu, it dies, and then they come to me like, I want a new Tegu, but this happened to me. So you hear it a lot.
Of course, that's.
But I can talk hours about Tegus.
I mean, in the other episode, with Jim, we were talking about making a podcast. So maybe we can make a full episode of Tegus. I'm not sure if everyone likes it, but I'm like that kid that can only talk about one thing only, and that's Tegus. That's what I like to hear. I mean, whatever the passion, whatever the hobby is, reptiles or not, I just like to hear people, even though there is stuff that I'm not passionate about. Just hearing the person that's passionate about it is enough to like.
It's really nice to listen to people that have a passion. That's just really fun. I really love people that have some passion for something.
That's the stuff.
So especially when it's animals.